169 and these cars are going by and they're waving to us. So I said, Michael, wave back. These people like us. We're like the police officers. They wave to us for no reason, right? And this one guy, he kept going by and he honking, and he's waving, looking kind of like Jerry a little bit. Going by honking, good looking guy, honking.
This guy,
And so I said, Michael, honk back, wave to him, wave. So Michael honks the horn, he's waving back. I said, now speed up. And we kept trying to lose this guy. He kept catching up with us. Anybody ever have a bad day in here?
Right, all the time.
You ever have one of those days where you feel like the wheels are coming off?
The wheels actually coming off.
Because about that time I hit the railroad tracks and I said, boom! And you get this sinking feeling when your wheels come off. And I look and there goes one wheel going by my window. I said, uh-oh. And then I look and there goes the other wheel going by my window. And boom, the axle drops right down into the railroad tracks. First day on the job. It wasn't even Michael's first day on the job, it was his first 15 minutes. He looked like a deer in the headlights. I mean, he was scared. He said, what happened? And there we are sitting all jacked up in here. We got traffic backed up for 15 miles honking at us. I can't get a tow truck to pick me up because he's got to go backwards on 169 at rush hour. I think Channel 5 had a helicopter flying over. Not a good day. Not a good way to start, right? But the guy, you remember the guy kept waving to us? So he stops. And I thought, here we have Minnesota nice. He's stopping to help us. So he gets out of his car and he walks up. I said, did you stop to see if you could help us? He said, no, not really. I stopped to tell you the two biggest idiots I've ever seen in my life. I've been chasing you down, honking, yelling, your wheels are coming off, and you keep honking, waving back, and speeding up. What's wrong with you? In every failure, there's a seed to success. In every failure, there's a seed to success. That's hard to see when your wheels fall off. I couldn't quit. I wanted to quit. I didn't want to be in the ice business anymore. But I had a wife and 2 babies at home, and I couldn't quit. So you have to always understand, the seeds of success are going to be in failures. It's just the way it has to be. But the first step on the 1,000-mile journey has to be taken to get there. And what I want to talk to you about today, and I mean this, I speak across the country to corporations all over the place because they pay me a lot of money to do it. And I do enjoy it, but I'm here today to speak to you because you can make the difference in the future. I do this because I enjoy it. Do I get paid? I get paid a little bit. But I make one keynote address that I just made on Friday. I make more in that 1 hour than I will make doing this all day long, 5 days a week for a month and a half to 2 months.
Whoa.
That's the difference. So I truly mean it when I'm here for you guys. I want to show you some secrets to success. I will just say this, and I look in this room and I mean this. There's greatness in this room. There is greatness in this room. And the only thing that stands between you and greatness is you. You have what it takes. And I'm going to show you today how that works, because I'll tell you what, do you think my competition was very worried about me when I was sitting there with my wheels down in the ditch, trying to get a tow truck to pick me? They're laughing at me. They weren't worried about me. They thought I was no competition at all. They love that kind of competition. Until 12 years later, when they had to write a big check to get rid of me because I was getting too big. Because I had a pretty big ice cup. In fact, I sold ice to the Cub in Buffalo.
Whoa.
How about that, right? So what I'm here, I want to show you some formulas today. I want to talk to you about a couple different things. One of which, the magic of thinking big. Anybody here ever hear of a guy named Lou Holtz? You read this book?
I read parts of it.
Great book. Great book. This book's been around a long time. Lou Holtz. Anybody know who he is?
Yep.
Anybody? Nobody? Lou Holtz.
Famous football coach.
Football used to coach at Notre Dame. He coached at University of Minnesota for 2 years.
For
Yep.
Notre Dame. Right.
Lou Holtz about this tall.
Stutters.
Got a speech impediment, has glasses. He weighs about $120 soaking wet. Decides he wants to be a great college football coach. He couldn't even make third string water boy, but he decides he wants to be a great football coach. He sets goals. First thing he does, he goes to South Carolina as an assistant football coach. Has 2 children, one on the way, big house, new mortgage, has the job for 1 month. His boss, the head coach, decides to resign. Lou Holtz went into deep depression. He had no job, couldn't pay his bills, had 2 little babies and another one coming, and he has no prospects for a new job. And his wife said, pull yourself up, reach for the stars. I don't care if you have to stand on a cactus to do it, and read this doggone book, because it'll show you the way. So Lou Holtz read this book, sat down, wrote down his goals, and decided one of his major goals was to be a great college football coach. Lou Holtz is in the College Football Hall of Fame. He's won the national championship, and he's turned 5 major programs around. The other thing Lou Holtz decides he wants to do, he wants to be a great motivational public speaker. Now look, the guy, he's not a movie star. He's about this tall. He's got glasses. He lisps or has a speech impediment. Lou Holtz is in the top 5 paid public speakers in the world, folks. $50,000 an hour. Plus, he's on the College Game Day show on ESPN, making a lot of money doing that. So when I tell you you can do anything, I mean you can do anything. You have way more to start with than Lou Holtz had, in my opinion. Looking in this room, you have what it takes. You know, when I talked about the ice company, anybody ever hear of Matt Dillon, actor?
Oh, yeah.
He was in Crash, been around forever. I actually got a call from a movie producer, and they asked me if they could film a scene for a movie called Fat Totem in my ice plant, and paid me a little bit of money to do it. So I said, sure, why not? Yeah, come on in. So they came in, they took over my whole ice plant. It's like a little city, these movie companies. When they come in, they take over. You don't know what you're getting into, because as soon as you sign on the dotted line, get out of the way, they're coming in. I mean, they come in with their own community. And so the day, now Matt Dillon, everybody, people know who that is yet? From Crash?
Yeah.
Okay. Not Matt Damon. I'll tell you, I came into my ice plant, and I was in the back where they're setting up to film this scene in this big ice pen, I'll tell you about it. And I walk into the front office, and there's all my nieces. And I hadn't seen them in months. And I said, what are you guys all doing here? And they said, well, tell Tyler, my son. They said, tell Tyler he doesn't know what he's talking about. I go, what do you mean? He keeps saying the guy's name's Matt Dillon, and we told him his name's Matt Damon. I said, oh, you're here to see Matt Damon? They said, yeah. I said, well, I hate to disappoint you. It's Matt Dillon, in my opinion, who's just as famous. And they said, well, who's that? Who's that? Well, then they actually figured out who it was, and they had a fun time watching it. But I walk in the back of this ice plant, and there's Matt Dillon, and he walks in, and when he comes in the door, and he's a big guy. He's a lot bigger than Matt Damon. But he walks in the door, and he kind of struts in, and the first thing these guys do when they come in, they look around. You know, I suppose because, you know, they don't know who's out there, and they want to check out where they're at, because he's looking around. He's nervous. You know, he wants to see his environment. And so then I go over and introduce myself to him, and he really didn't impress me. I mean, he's big, strong, a nice guy, but he didn't seem overly smart. And I said, and he's wearing a red Anytime Ice shirt. It says Anytime Ice here, and in the movie his name is Hank. So it says Hank here. And so I spent the day with Matt. I walked over and introduced myself, and he got in the ice bin, and he's chopping ice out. We're making this scene all day long. And I had an extra shirt made in case something happened to this shirt. So he gets done shooting the movie, and I went up to him and I said, hey, Matt, can you sign this extra shirt I got? And he said, sure, because I thought it'd be a cool, you know, prop to have in my office. So he goes up, he says, well, lean over, I'll sign it on your back. And he puts it up on my back, and as he's putting it up, he straightens it up, and he sees the name Hank. So now he gets a little bit confused. He said, hey, buddy. I said, what? He said, I thought your name was, is your name Hank? I said, is my name